Angle Slam
podcast.
Hello,
everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Dr.
It's the
Nick.
last podcast of the year.
Yes, Merry Christmas. I can take this tinsel off my neck now.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. If you're wondering why, look at the photo that will come
Yeah, we'll put a photo up before. You'll
Yeah.
see us podcasting stuff. And it's all festive and
It's
stuff.
all in fun, isn't it? Yes. So, yes, we're back. TLC 2019.
Last pay-per-view for WWE of 2019 and of the decade.
Yes. Usually I do deaths. There has been a death. And
Can't
unfortunately,
remember.
I can't remember his name, but he was known. I think he was like the third bonus member of Demolition. If someone knows, comment below, whatever stuff. But unfortunately, not only do I can't remember his name, I don't know much about his career, but either way, we'll dedicate the podcast to him.
To the randomer.
Yeah, and now you do your little advertisements.
Yeah, so obviously, as usual, we're on SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, we're on Twitter and Instagram as well. Just you'll find us anywhere, just Angle Slam Podcast, and you'll find out whichever one you want to listen to us on.
Mm-hmm.
We were meant to have a girl called Jess come into via Skype call doing the review with us, but unfortunately she's had some complications going on, so she can't make it this time. So hopefully getting her to come in for the Royal Rumble. I'll put a link in the description as well for her stuff. It's Jess Talks Wrestling. She's got a YouTube channel, so she's on Twitter and everything and all that kind of stuff, and SoundCloud and whatnot, and she's does some awesome stuff for wrestling as well. So check her out, and hopefully we'll see her at the Rumble.
Yes, that'd be very nice. Yeah.
So pre-show, didn't watch it.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, this is a different thing.
Well, because I watched it live.
How dare you deviate? How dare you?
How dare you not watch it live? Yeah, just by chance, I watched, I had a couple of people around, so we had it in the background. It was just the one match. It was Humberto Carrillo. I think that's the name.
Carrillo.
Carrillo.
I thought it was Carrillo.
I have no idea. Humberto.
That dude.
Yeah. Versus Almas in what was a very good match.
Yeah, from what I've
actually.
heard, and I saw a couple of highlights. Yeah.
It was very good. I don't know if it was botches or whatnot. Probably botches. But Andrade looked battered by the end of it. He had what looked like severe rope burn on his back.
Yeah.
Bruises. Very bad cut under his eye to the point that his eye began to swell up.
Yeah.
And blood and stuff. And unfortunately, I can't remember the end now. But Humberto won.
Yeah, Humberto won it, yeah.
Which is fine.
But yeah, it's fine, but it's all to do with the confusion from him and Zelina Vega, which it seems like they're potentially breaking them up.
Well, but at the end of the match, when Zelina was in the ring to either ask him what happened or comfort him, Almas was like, "I'm done with it." And rolled out the ring and walked to the ramp, which it was interesting. Unfortunately, I know something happens on Monday night which just pissed me off and made the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to say.
But
So.
like I said, I didn't watch the match. I saw a couple of highlights, and I know the gist of it, and I saw that massive bust open he had in his eye, which fucking hell, it was bad. But I don't really want the two of them to break up. Because they're a good team. I think they work really well together. I think it's too soon to do that. I think they haven't been together long enough. He hasn't had some serious amount of wins for that. And he's had some wins and he's getting some traction, but he should be holding a title for a while with her. You know what I mean? Like the Intercontinental, the US belt or something like that. And having a real good stint with that. And then maybe break up because she costs him the belt. That feels like it's a bigger deal there, so that it's more warranted. But at the moment, I'm kind of like, it's too soon.
I'm indifferent to it because I think this is the problem with it. I think Almas would be okay solo.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I'm still liking their team together at the moment.
So I was kind of on board with it. Like Almas would be fine, and Zelina is apparently a very good wrestler. And if she just went into the actual women's division, it needs a little bit more new blood at the minute.
Yeah.
But what I'm picturing is if Almas did win a title, whether it is US, even the main championship, I think he needs a mouthpiece.
Yeah,
and
100%.
He's not the mouthpiece. He needs a manager.
And she's damn good.
Yeah, so I'm okay either way that they'll go with it. It's interesting to see where they'll go.
Yeah.
So there was a bit more development on Monday. So we'll see where it goes from there. So
main show.
Yes, and I didn't know this was a ladder match until the last minute, but it was New Day Revival SmackDown Tag Titles. Great match.
Great, yeah, really good, strong opener. Argued for match of the night, but there's
possibly
something else that might be as well. The crowd were hot for this all the way through. There's plenty of spots with New Day on the ladders, quite a lot. The springboard tornado DDT from Kofi he almost lost his balance,
great
but
recovery.
he recovered it perfectly, and that was amazing.
there was a superplex on the ladder, but
Yeah.
Big E missed the ladder.
Yeah, remember that.
I think it kind of buckled a bit, so they got him back up and did a frog splash through the ladder.
Yeah.
The Kofi bit where he's just kind of hanging back off the ladder.
Oh yeah, his legs are stuck. Yeah.
That was the point where I thought, Revival are going to do this.
Yeah, there was a couple of times, I'll be honest, that I was like, shit, they're going to give it to the Revival.
Yeah, which
is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
It's just that New Day have only just got it back.
And from a business standpoint, I suppose, it doesn't make sense, because Revival are rumoured to be on the way out.
Yeah.
And getting closer and closer to the door as the months
Plus
go on.
also, it's kind of like, you want to finish New Day's year on a high note, and doing it the way they did with Kofi getting the belts at the end. It's the way to do that, because obviously he kind of got stiffed at the end of his WWE Championship run with this Brock thing, and they've kind of just thrown him back into the tag thing and pretended it never happened.
Yeah.
So just to give him this at the end of it is a nice kind of Merry Christmas Kofi kind of thing.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
He didn't kind of get stiffed. He got stiffed.
Yeah,
on the
right.
WWE
He got stiffed.
thing.
Yeah,
But
Not
on the way during the entrances, on the way to the ring, I think I said like he was jumped 2 months ago.
I know.
And it didn't.
And
Compute. But
I know.
during the match, the crowd were really
They were
hot Kofi,
hot.
really chanting for Kofi, and I was just thinking, please listen to them, because I'm not saying throw the belt back in straight away, but keep him in that title
put
picture.
them in the Intercontinental.
Well,
Kofi versus Nakamura. I'm all over that.
I just think he deserves. I know we've got rid of that rematch.
He's not the
clause
underdog
thing.
anymore.
No, but I know we got rid of that rematch clause thing, and I am on board with that because it does mix things up. But it doesn't mean that a former champion can never have another shot at it.
Yeah, you've got to re-earn it.
So I think with everything that happened, especially with the way he lost it, Kofi deserves another shot at either the WWE Universal Championship. There's a slight possibility that it might happen at the Rumble, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So he's more than likely and hopefully going to be one of the 6 members in the Elimination Chamber. But we'll see how it goes, because at the minute, like I said, they're still the SmackDown Tag Champions.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a great opener. It's a great ladder match.
Yeah, it was. I mean, even with the Revival as well, their methodical use of the ladders as well.
Yeah, it just got the ball rolling.
Yeah, it really did.
That's why I love ladder matches.
But I mean, I'd say the first minute, maybe 2, was kind of like, it's a little bit slow. And then suddenly, as soon as I think Biggie took that splash on the outside onto the ladder, it just kicked up a gear from there. It just went up and up and up into this perfect coup de grace of an end.
Yeah, the spots I remember at the start was a lot of just like tug of war between the ladders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we passed this little bit. This is very kiddish. Just get to smacking each other.
And it did. And it was good.
Next match was very good. It was Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy.
This again is argued for match of the night. I can't make my mind up between the two. The only issue I had with this match is that the crowd weren't into it as much.
No.
They were into a couple of moments here and there, especially the last flurry, the last minute of the match where they were exchanging blows back and forth until the final moment. But overall, they weren't into it as much, and that kind of dampened it a bit, because this match was an NXT kind of match. Just good, solid wrestling, plenty of exchanges, plenty of back and forth, good story told, intimidating moments where they're sitting in front of each other with crossed legs, all that kind of stuff. It did everything it needed to do. It's just the crowd weren't going nuts for it.
I think the problem was I wasn't really even aware of the storyline between them, so I think it needed a lot more depth. The story and the TV time.
To be perfectly honest, there really wasn't much of a story.
No.
He knocked on the door, he opened it up and he was already gone, and that was pretty much it. Then they've had separate matches with other people to kind of put them on notice, and that's more or less it.
Yeah, because Aleister had a promo during the pre-show, and if it's him, then he needs to kind of go back to the dark, deceiving ways. He wasn't, not deceiving, just... Yeah, the dark way wasn't NXT, but the more he was talking, it was like, oh, this is a Vince written promo. He was just basically saying, he did the whole pick a fight thing, blah, 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 and he was like, I need to get rid of you, so the best way is to get you out of my life is to amputate you from it. And I was like, it's a little bit long-winded and complicated promo, isn't it?
Plus this pick a fight thing, again, it's the same thing that Vince always does whenever he's got something in his mind. Let's beat it to death.
It was fine for the Cesaro thing.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, that was enough. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Don't make it Black's gimmick. As soon as he's done with another person, off he goes back to the cupboard and leans in and goes, pick a fight with me. I was like, stop going into the cupboard and come out and fucking wrestle.
Yeah.
Don't make that his gimmick.
Because the thing will be like, if you went in the cupboard, we'd book a match for you and you get a fight. But the pick a fight thing, it shouldn't be his character. It was just a decent
entry point.
storyline.
It was an entry point for him on the main roster.
Yeah.
And he's in the main roster now, so don't make it his thing.
Yeah, because there was another element of what happened later in the show, which I think will bring someone to the roster. So, anyway.
Also, on a side note, get rid of the trapdoor sound when he comes up.
Yeah.
It is so annoying.
So I didn't like the bullet sound that started ricocheting.
No, I hate that as well. But yeah, the final flurry as well, with the smacks and hits with the elbows and knees and everything, and suddenly the black mass out of nowhere, straight down. Yeah, Black's your winner. And it's the right call, because I think they're more invested in Black than they are in Buddy at the moment. But Buddy did not look bad in this match. Even in defeat, he looked great. I think it was a good showing to put them both over. It's just that at the moment they're slightly higher on Black than they are on Buddy.
If I look back at it, because from a personal standpoint, that was the kind of, apart from maybe like the hardcore matches, because I'm a sicko, that kind of style of wrestling, the very stiff New Japan type wrestling, I like that style.
Yeah.
So I was all over it. There were very stiff shots, knees and elbows, and a few.
Oh yeah, Alistair broke his nose as well, didn't he?
Was it his nose?
Yes, it was definitely. You could see the break on the bridge of his nose, and because of that, it was pissing blood out of his nostrils. But I think it was when Buddy pulled him out from the apron, he hit his head on these steps.
I think it was the bit before. I thought it was the turnbuckle.
Oh, was it? Because I didn't think that he got his hands up quick enough, and that's where it happened. I'm pretty sure. Similar to Cesaro when he busted his face, he just didn't get his hands up, so his face took the full brunt.
What I saw is that Buddy took out he did the kind of move where usually they just fall face first on the apron, because he was facing the other way, he smacked into the ring post, and he looked like he straight away just hands over the face and then did the stairs
I must have missed that bit.
Because at first I thought he did what Cesaro did and had his teeth go straight into his fucking mouth.
But no, he broke his nose. It's definitely broken.
Yeah, so blood again, which, accidents happen, but it brings more of another dynamic to it. There was a small part where I think he even said, like, is Buddy going to do this? Because
and I would have been disappointed if Buddy won. It's just, it kind of dampens Black's push.
I think I would have been disappointed because I would have been surprised and happy for Buddy, but it wasn't been the right call.
No, it's the right call for Black.
So I don't know who decided what, but if this was Black's decision, despite Buddy losing, Black put Buddy over that night. Because
100%.
I don't think I've seen Alistair, apart from maybe a couple of matches in NXT where he lost the title and stuff, I don't think I've seen Alistair that dominated for a while.
It was very evenly paced as far as everybody getting their show in. They dominated each other perfectly at different points. Like I said, no one looked bad at any point. No one looked like they were over-dominated by another person.
Yeah.
They all got their moments to shine. And like I say, it was a great match.
Yeah, they went out there and said, come on, let's steal the show. And they arguably may have.
Yeah, it's really hard to call between that and the first match and which one's the best.
Yeah, so I don't know. I might just put it as an equal draw. This next match, I just thought, the way it ended, I thought, that was pointless. It was the open challenge for the Raw Tag titles.
Yes, Viking Raiders open challenge.
Answered by the OC.
Yeah, the OC. And
I'm cool with that?
I'm cool with that because I really did overlook them. Because they're the best tag champions in the world, with the cup thing. And I generally overlooked them, and I shouldn't be doing that considering they've been given that cup. But I just thought, given what's been going on with AOP, I thought maybe they would come into it, especially with the promo just before.
Yeah,
I was like, they're making it obvious, but maybe I thought, man, it's too obvious, I don't know. But then I thought to myself, well, the Usos are due to come back. They've been injured for a while, they're ready to return. This would be a nice pop.
Yeah.
But they went with the OC, and like I say, it was overlooked, and I shouldn't have overlooked that. None of us should really have overlooked it, because why wouldn't you put them in there? The only downside is that the match was bland for me.
Yeah, the OC, they did cross my mind, but I just thought they seemed to be in this, like, supporting characters for this AJ storyline at the minute with Orton. So I was thinking they kind of be left with that and give another tag team a shot. And I also thought with AOP, because I thought, I can't remember who said it now, they go, it's too early when they just started this Seth thing. I was like, or is it brilliant to go straight away that their dominance starts? Because if AOP had answered it, I think even predicted that they were going to win it.
Yeah.
To kind of, because that would feed more of Seth's heel character of like, they've been with me 5 minutes, they're already tag team champions. Kind of thing. But see, it didn't go down that way.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, because it's kind of crossing storylines really, and like we're focusing with Kevin, Seth, and AOP at the minute, so let's focus on that and not tear them away from it.
Yeah, that's fine. So the match was okay.
Yeah, to be honest, there was nothing of note that I can think of.
No.
It was just your standard TV match.
There was a botch at the start where, like, I think they did the whole he lays down, jumps over, and I think Carl tripped over one of the Raiders and stumbled a bit. There was a lot of botches that night, actually.
There was,
Botchamania would have had a...
there was at one point as well when... is it Ivar's the biggest one?
Yeah, I think so.
When he does that springboard back and he puts his elbows out and hits them both, he was so far away from them. You just notice it, like that he didn't even connect, not even remotely.
Yeah.
And then you could hear the commentators trying to recover it. It's like, I think he just clipped them. I'm not too sure. Which is fair enough. As we said before, I don't like it when they pretend it didn't happen or try to pretend it did.
Yeah, they've
kind of gone, okay, maybe you got a bit. Sometimes they tried to recuperate.
Yeah, we've always said if it's a pure miss, the commentators, but with that, the commentators have to work on how the opponent reacts. Because if the opponent reacts like it actually hit him, they've got to go, oh yeah, he just clipped him.
But don't say, absolutely nailed him. Yeah, he didn't though, did he?
If they do the move and the wrestler doesn't even react, just go, he missed. Alright? Because none of us are stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was bland, unfortunately. It just didn't really connect for me.
Number one, why if you're going to go down that way with it end up being a double count or draw, if you're going to go that way, and that was always the plan, number one, couldn't this have been on the pre-show? And number two, why do it in the first place? Because
the double count out just deflated it even more, didn't it?
There was you already had 2 other tag title matches that night. No singles titles. There was rumours it was going to be Bayley versus Lacey for the Women's Championship. Then last minute they said they think they will save it to the Royal Rumble.
I found that a bit weird they didn't bother with that.
But I just, before I knew the SmackDown tag titles was going to be a ladder match, I was thinking, you've got, Ray's the US champ, Shinsuke's the Intercontinental champ.
Why
have like a ladder triple threat or something. And after the Raw tag team title match, it was like, you could have had one of them in that instead of this, because this has done nothing for no one. The Viking Raiders are still champs, and the OC just... aren't, and no one won. And I think they're going to go with, OC did mention that they're the only team to beat the Viking Raiders so far in WWE. They beat them at Crown Jewel for that trophy. And then, again, they can go, well, Viking Raiders haven't beat us. It's like, because you got a draw that time.
But is that a good enough storyline? You haven't beat us, so let's have a match. It's not.
But also, Viking Raiders can be like, all right, you've drew against us and you beat us once. Still not the champs though.
Yeah. It's like,
and we gave you a shot at the titles and you blew it.
Yeah.
So
that's it. That should be an end. That's it.
Yeah, but I think that now even goes, we didn't blow it because you didn't win either. Yeah, it's a lot of like he said, she says with that kind of thing.
It's a bit weird. Bit of a weird one.
I don't think they're going to go that way with the story. They might, but who knows?
Hopefully not.
Next, oh god, this is the headache of the night for me. Was the first TLC match between Corbin and Roman.
Right. Yeah, I thought this was going to be the main event. To be honest, but then
I didn't think
I'm actually kind of glad it wasn't. I don't know what to think about this match. They did all the right things of like the spots and everything, and the big working Reigns over to the point where he gets his big comeback and he does all his usual stuff. He takes out all the security guards and Ziggler gets involved, and it's him trying to overcome the odds. And Revival get involved. You know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. There was just something missing from it. They weren't necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just, I was just kind of like, you know what I mean? And Reigns is getting to this point where he's naturally building himself up now, where, like we said, if he does win the Rumble, it's not the end of the world anymore.
Yeah.
And Corbin is also getting to this point where he's becoming a genuinely hated heel, and they're giving him enough props where he's taking victories over Reigns, and they're building them up right. It's just, I don't know what it was. It didn't connect with me properly.
It's one of them where to me, I don't really remember much of the match for some reason, but there's a lot more wrestling involved. That it's a wrestling product. I want to see wrestling, but when you've got a TLC stipulation, you want to see more hardcore weapon shot.
Throw everything but the kitchen sink.
So it seemed to be 75%, armbar, couple of suplexes, and then every now and then get a weapon. But it was never to me, it was never that whole kind of predetermined. Right at this point, I'll get like 3 tables out, and then I'll fall off a ladder. It seemed like they might have been calling it in the ring and gone, all right, I suppose you just hit me with a chair.
Yeah, with a TLC match, you shouldn't be calling it in the ring, really.
No, but they might not have been. But at one point, I think Corbin hit Roman on the back with a ladder. Probably the only time they used the ladder, and it was so soft. And it was kind of like, okay, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but for the sake of this story and everything,
come on,
throw some potatoes out there, just caution to the wind and kick the shit out of each other. The way it went down was because the only spot that stood out to me was one I didn't like, which is when they got the dog food can out again.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that thing from the other week. Anyway,
no, I didn't. Like it was just
the feud's
cheesy.
not been good anyway. I mean, the feud itself, as in like the fact that Reigns versus Corbin, that's all fine. It's just the context within it, with the little yappy dog thing on the screen, the dog food and everything. All that stuff is just very childish, but it sounds like something that Vince would find hilarious.
Yeah.
Everyone else thinks
it's
this
stupid.
is stupid.
It's childish.
It is. It's childish. But if you took all that away, you could taunt him in other ways and make it more legitimate. But with this, it just seems like it's just petty little shit, and it doesn't make for a good story.
I was okay with Dolph getting involved because it made sense with the story.
Yeah, that's fine.
The thing was, with the SmackDown before, when Roman came out and he was like pure rage mode, I was like, I liked that whole... it happened a couple of years ago, again, at TLC, when he attacked Triple H. It's just pure rage mode. I like Rage Roman. And yes, he's got to the point now where I'm... A few years ago, I'd be like, I just want Roman to lose all the time because he's just rubbed everyone up the wrong way with no fault of his own. At this point with the story, you wanted to see Corbin get his ass kicked, and then when Dolph and the Revival got involved, I was thinking we're going to see Superman Roman. It's just going to tear...
And the security guys, well, like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, we're hitting them with the Singapore cane and stuff, but I was thinking he's going to start tearing everybody apart, Superman Roman, and where usually I'd roll my eyes at it, like, come on, I kind of wanted to see it. And maybe partially because of the good heel work or heel position Corbin is in.
Yeah.
However, he was on backstage the other night.
Corbin. I saw the thing where he says he loves being a heel, and that it's his favourite thing. Like, the more people boo and hate him, the better the kick he gets. And I love that because he is generally a natural heel because of it, because he generally enjoys it.
But he said something along the lines of, when I was even questioning, like, are you in character right now or are you not? When he goes, I'm rightly the top heel of the company right now, and I revel in that. I was like, right, are you? Yes, you get booed a lot, but are you getting booed for the right reasons? And I think the more he spoke, the more I was thinking, no, he's just adjusting with this day and age of like, I can't be the typical bad guy like The Miz or Kevin Owens used to be, because the more like storyline heel moves they do, the more we cheer them because we like that.
But with Baron Corbin, he is that old school heel.
So if anyone said like, oh, they're booing you because they really just don't like you, instead of him going, well, okay, I've got to be a bad guy but still have them respect me, he's gone, nah, fuck it, fuck the respect thing. I need to be a heel and I'm doing it right. On the flip side, if something were to happen to Corbin, touch wood it don't, but if he got injured and he had to go away for 6 or 7 months, I don't think a lot of people would be going, I can't wait till Corbin comes back. He's one of them where you can take him out of the deck.
Changes.
Yeah. And I don't want to badmouth him because he is good at what he does.
Yeah.
But if he weren't on a Raw and SmackDown, A, I wouldn't care, and B, I don't think I'd even notice. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe they're trying to change that with the way they're building him up. Yeah. He is a genuine heel, and he took the victory in this. I thought Roman should have, but he took the victory here with an end of days on the chair, obviously all the assisted help from everyone else, and Reigns lost clean in the ring. And I feel like the reason they're doing that is because they're trying to build Corbin up as this unstoppable heel. And I'm fine with that, but you just kind of maybe got to get a bit more of a twat out of him. You know what I mean? It just, you know what I mean? Like, he is a dick, but I just want more, but not in the kind of dog food kind of way. I want it more angry and aggression and just so hatred. You know what I mean? And we're just not getting that. It's a little bit goofy and silly.
I think you should kind of... I don't think you should get rid of the King gimmick just yet.
No.
But some of his promos, I think he should speak from the heart to the audience and go, I know you don't like me, but you've got to respect my work ethic, and if you don't know anything about this business. But as a matter of fact, you don't care for me, but guess what? I don't give a shit about any of you. He needs to be straight with them. Yeah. And I think the fans will be like, they'll still boo him, but they'll start booing him because of that kind of stuff. But I think, as far as the Roman thing goes, I think they're double bluffing us and they're going to rehash the John Cena storyline, because there's rumours for ages that he's the favourite for the Rumble winner. And when people said why, it was like, well, he's meant to be getting this massive push. So I think they've done this Corbin victory to go, no, he's not getting a push. And I think they're going to do...
Pull the wall over your eyes.
Yeah, I think they're doing how Cena did when he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28. He had the really bad year. He goes, oh, I need something to get me out of this rut. And he won the next Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do exactly the same with Roman.
Probably
like, I've been on a losing streak. I need to change it.
They're trying to make us feel more for him so that when he wins, we cheer him more. And I think we were going to cheer him anyway, because we're at that point where we're not against it. It all comes down to who is he going to be against at the last 4, and then especially the last one he's going to be against before he throws that person over the top. You know what I mean? Because if it's someone we all genuinely love and admire and think we deserves it more, you're not going to get those cheers. You need to pick someone, even if it is Corbin.
It should be Corbin. I was about to say.
Yeah, if it's Corbin, then as soon as he chucks him over the top, you are going to get that moment. You go, yes! You know what I mean? He's the lesser of two evils. Let's go.
You're going to go, oh, not Roman. Oh, not Corbin, no! And yes, you'll be like, oh, thank God, not Roman. Not Corbin. But what they're doing here, they are literally... He's walking on the edge of the razor. Because I don't know how the crowd react. Because personally, I think it might undo all their work. Because
I hope not.
My personal reaction will be like, why Roman again? Why couldn't you give it someone else that... Not the spot of Mania.
There's so many other people that deserve it.
That credibility and that thrill of winning the Royal Rumble. Then if you want Roman to be in a title match at Mania, by all means, throw him in there. But he doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble to do it. You could have had a Royal Rumble, him in a title match, and a different Royal Rumble.
You could have Kevin Owens win this and go against Bray or some shit like that. Well, no, Bray's
the thing is, if Roman's going to go to Mania, I think he'll go against Bray. But I think Bray will win.
Oh, God, I hope so.
He has to win.
He has to, but think about it. It's Mania, it's Roman Reigns, and it's Vince.
Yeah. But there's still rumours it's going
to be... Superman fucking Roman Reigns is going to take it from The Fiend. He's going to dethrone him. He beat The Undertaker. He's the second person to do that at Mania.
Oh, yeah.
At what point do you not think he's going to beat Bray Wyatt?
I try and put that in the
They're putting a lot of stock in Bray, but they'll never put the same amount of stock in Bray as they have in The Undertaker. He beat The Undertaker.
One of the rumours is still Fiend Taker at Mania.
Oh, I hope so. But again,
what happens to the belt?
Well, the Fiend has to win, and that makes Undertaker go out on the shield.
I don't think... Yes, but what I mean is, does it have to be a championship match? Because in my head, I think if they need to get... if Bray loses the belt, it needs to be in like a triple threat fatal 4-way rule where he's not pinned. It's the only way you can you protect his credibility, you don't make his character stale, because I want his streak to last a long, long time. 100%. But I don't want him to be champion for a long, long time, because then championships get stale and it gets a bit old. So,
but on that note, I think it's
Bray. This was interesting.
Because it wasn't necessarily an amazing wrestling match, and it was weird not having The Fiend this time. It was actually Bray Wyatt, but it was a great story told.
Yeah.
And I know that's the point of the match.
Well, what I was getting back earlier of like when Alistair get out your cupboard, you can wrestle and stuff.
Yeah.
Introducing this other side of Bray means he can now start wrestling under that gimmick on SmackDown, because unfortunately with The Fiend, The Fiend should be kept as a pay-per-view thing, like the Demon in Finn Balor.
But they kind of gave up.
But you can't just go, okay, you'll only wrestle at pay-per-views for the next few months. Yeah, you can rest up, because it's not fair on the rest of the staff.
Yeah, so now he can do wrestling matches in the TV.
Yeah, as the Firefly Funhouse Bray.
Yep.
I love the entrance, the music, just the way his character was.
He was so like he's taking selfies and everything. He was cheering everybody. He was just raising his belt and everybody was cheering. Like he was this mega baby face. Yeah. Even though we know he's got that sadisticness to him. And it's so weird that when Bray Wyatt first came back with this gimmick, as soon as I saw that Firefly Funhouse for the first time, I turned to my wife and went, "What the fuck is this?"
I knew it was
straight away. I was like, "What is this?" And then week on week, I was like, "This is amazing!" And it's become the best thing about wrestling at the moment, about WWE at the moment. It's so great, and they've just added another extra bit of flavour to it by bringing him in as Bray Wyatt in a match, and it was all brilliant. Everything about it was just fun.
The three genius parts of it from the get-go were it was original, it was different, and not only I was liking all of that, for the first 2 episodes, was just this almost rainbow magic bus kind of thing, But then to throw something as dark as the Fiend in there and go like, that's cool as well, like proper cool.
Yeah.
Just adding all those elements together, and he's
perfect.
And it's all Bray, because But that bit as well when he's getting in the ring, and he seems to be playing with the crowd every time he went back through the ropes to cheer his ass off. Personally, I don't think that was character stuff. I think Bray was just loving every minute. It worked for his character. Kudos to Miz the whole time. Miz did not break his character of that dark, cold stare of like because of what happened to his family.
Ass.
I mean, did you see the baby monitor thing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's creepy, isn't
even
it?
the toddler.
Sarah looked at that and went, right, so you just done that storyline, and now that kid's going to have nightmares for 3 weeks because of that. I was like, worth it. It was awesome.
Look at the kid accidentally did great acting when she was like pointing at the doll in the car, and Miz was like, what? And I love that doll. Zach did point out, like, but the cameraman was already in the room when they were running. Miz was like, Maurice, you go in first. Like, really? Okay. But yeah, I loved all of that, and I was like building up in my head, like, while Miz was coming out, like, how's Bray's entrance going to be? Is he going to come out with, like, carrying the doll, or with, like, Rambling Rabbit and the Buzzard and whatnot? I thought of an idea where I thought, again, this might be a bit too... I don't think too far. I think you would have been able to get away with it, but it might cause controversy. What if Bray had walked out carrying Miz's daughter?
I don't know.
Because I just had it in my head, like, Miz is out, he's waiting for, like, Bray to come out, and then you show on the Titantron Maurice just freaking out.
But she'd have to be crying, wouldn't she? How do you do that?
Well, no, I don't think she need to, because I was thinking you could have had Bray and I can't remember Miz's kid's name now.
Monroe.
Yeah, hang out all day, so she sees that he's actually a nice guy. With him. Yeah, but she's more like, what's going on kind of thing, because I don't think she'll be happy to be carried. She'd just be cooked.
Well, shit, with all the fans there, and she'll be a little bit flabbergasted.
Yeah, she just know what's going on, which is maybe why they didn't do it. But I just thought, if you have Maurice then go on the screen like freaking out, running around the corridor, where is she? And then Miz like, what's going on? Then Bray comes out carrying his daughter. It's more mind games. Yeah. But it's Bray over as a bigger heel, and Miz can't attack him because he's holding his daughter.
But obviously, he said that he put them in an undisclosed location beforehand, didn't he? So we knew they weren't on site.
But yeah, the match was what it was.
I like the fact that in the match, that every time he was being beaten down by the Miz, he was laughing and chuckling, and laughing and not
even when he did the arm break thing.
The whole thing. He was even saying, "Do it, do it." Then he popped his shoulder out, and he had to pop it back in on the barricade. It was all really well done. I mean. It kind of ended quite suddenly. He got himself like his sister Abigail, and that was it. Good night, Bray's your winner. Which obviously was the perfectly right call.
Saying, why did Miz go for the pin after school cushion finale? I was like, no, I like that.
He wanted to punish him.
And rightly so.
It was a good story told. And then we get an extra little kind of cherry on the cake once the bell's rung.
Yeah, the Fiend appears on the screen.
Yeah,
which it was interesting to see. Those alter egos, like not like proper face to face, because you can't do that, but like separately, and him just like, I'll do it, like these voices in his head.
He's going with the mallet, doesn't he?
I'm not a big fan of the mallet.
No, I mean it's fun and playful with the Bray Wyatt character.
It's very Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But then when the lights started going out, I genuinely thought, how is he going to do this? How is the lights going to go out? Is he going to be the Fiend?
But I was always thinking in the back of my mind, Daniel Bryan.
Right. I liked the way it went down.
Yep.
Bryan's new look makes him look about 10 years younger.
American Dragon.
Yeah. It's next to Bryan.
The only problem I've had is that someone put it up on social media, that someone put some shades on him, straight away it looks like Orange Cassidy. It really does. I was like, I can't unsee it. That's a shame.
He looks so much younger.
Yeah.
Some people go, from the long hair beard. Don't get me wrong, I love that.
You need to change it up every day.
Yeah, he looks great. But I think I would have saved it for the Rumble. I think they just jumped the gun too quick.
I mean, I would have been fine with it being at the Rumble, but I can't deny I wasn't popping when he was there and beating the shit out of him. We get our yes chance and everything with a new look. Yeah. I can't say I wasn't hyped with it, but if I'd have been wait to the Rumble, I probably would have liked it even more.
But also to make Bryan look strong, but to not make Bray look like a complete bitch. Before he could finish him off, the lights go out and Bray disappears. It's a great idea. The other thing I liked was every now and then when Miz was on the offensive, when Bray wasn't like laughing, every now and then you'd see this aggression come out of him, and it was like this is the hurt and heel fight here.
He's trying to
so he's like every now and then he gets pissed off and lunges for him, like almost the Fiend's coming out of him, and then he'll like calm himself and get back to like laughing and having playful time. So yeah, the wrestling match wasn't like
up to much.
Yeah, but the story was told brilliantly.
And I knew that was what it was going to be, and it did what it said in the tin.
Yeah. Next was the tables match, Rusev and Lashley.
Yeah. Now with the build-up and all of this, I have not liked the build-up. I'm fine with a storyline of the cheating misses and divorce and everything. That's not the end of the world. The thing I don't like is the fact that they're making her get off with some. I know she probably signed off on it. They both probably agreed to it, but I don't get why she has to get off with him when she's legitimately married to Rusev. It's stirring the pot. I don't like that. I also don't like the fact that she did a fake pregnancy. In 2019, that should not be happening. It's disgraceful, the amount of people that have to go through that kind of awful shit in their life, and you're using it as a storyline. That is not acceptable. So there were little bits and bobs in through this storyline that I did not like. However, there were other bits where Rusev kind of went off the chain a couple of times with Lashley and everything, and that was all fine. The match itself was fine. It wasn't amazing, but it was as I kind of expected. It didn't do amazing, but it didn't do amazingly bad either.
Yeah, I wasn't. It did kind of go the way I expected, and I knew I wasn't expecting a match of the year candidate or anything. But I was still expecting a little bit more, and because it seemed to me when they weren't fanning around with tables and doing just the cliche and smack your head off the table and all that, for how personal the storyline's meant to be. It should have been a full-on brawl, and they seemed very more let's wrestle instead of fight. So you got to be careful with those stories. Like when a storyline is personal, the match needs to go down like a fight.
Yeah, you meant to make it feel personal in the match.
Yeah, when it's a pretty standard storyline of like he's at a title shot or whatever. Yeah, by all means, put on a wrestling match.
Yeah,
but tables matches have always been a bit.
Because it's like, it says it's a tables match, but it's the first person to go through a table. So the whole time you got these people dodging a table spot, and then you get one table spot, and that's the end of the match. It's not as good as a gimmick as you think it is.
Yeah.
It sounds good on paper when you hear tables match, but when you actually break it down on the rules, it's pretty bland.
The only thing I remember is that Lashley sometimes doesn't even seem to know what he's doing. Like the table he set up in the corner, which he actually tried to put Rusev through the first time, but because he set it up so shit, it just bounced off.
But he was crap at setting up tables. It's like, mate, it's a couple of legs that you put into place and then you flip it. How hard is it? Look at the fucking size of you. How hard is it?
It seems like he had problems when he was with that Drew McIntyre and Corbin stable. Like he just didn't know who to get or where to stand somewhere. Sometimes he cracks under pressure.
Yeah, he does seem like a deer in a headlight sometimes.
Yeah,
he really
doesn't
you're
really
right.
know what he's doing. But
it's not good for someone that is renowned as him.
Well, he's been in the business years. You'd think he'd picked it up by now. But also, the only spot I really remember was that there was a table in the ring, table outside the ring, and they both trying to suplex each other. That was pretty good. I was like, which one's going to go
when Rusev brought the guardrail in, and then he got dropped on that was good. I can't say, because that's bringing in something else you can use, and that's fine. Because again, with the table stipulation, you can't really use them that much, so use something else.
Yeah.
Can't deny with that. But he went for the spear on the table, didn't break, so he bellied him through another table.
Which just luckily so happened to be
there. So Rusev lost, and Lashley was your winner, which means the feud is going to continue, which is probably why we didn't go balls to the wall with it, because I feel like there's going to be a bigger ending here.
I just thought they might... I thought Lashley was going to win, but I thought it might have gone with Rusev, because with such controversy and, let's face it, more negativity than positive feedback they're getting from the storyline, I thought they might go, right, it's not working, let's just finish at TLC and move on.
But they're not, they're invested in the story.
Something happens on Raw which is still, I suppose when you look at it, a Royal Rise moment, but it can be a Royal Rise moment from a story perspective or from a fan's perspective. It's going to be, everyone's got their opinion. But Lana does a thing at the end, so I won't spoil it, and it's very, very annoying to the point I was getting annoyed watching it, but in the right way. Like how
I'm not denying that at certain points Lana's been really good on the mic at being this irritating, childish little bitch.
Oh, she gets really irritated.
She gets passionate with it, and I can't deny there were points in it, especially during the divorce proceedings with King and everything. She did really, really well. I can't take that away from her. I'm just pissed off with certain content choices.
Yeah.
That not necessarily their fault, however, they would have signed off on it as much as Vince and everyone else. So There's just certain points that you shouldn't be mentioning.
So the thing with the pregnancy, I get it, because unfortunately we do live in this a kind of a PC era now, and what you said is right. People trying to get pregnant, that stuff. But sometimes you have to just go, oh, sod it, because even with the Miz Bray storyline, there are probably people out there going, how dare you involve kids in this and all that stuff. But it's like, sometimes
but they weren't in any harm or anything like that.
No, but
it's not poking fun, is it?
No, it's not poking fun, but some people might be out there going, oh, you find the same value in like some guy like stalking your kid.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I suppose I know.
But if you listen to everybody, it's like, well, we can't do anything then, because eventually, if you keep going, you're right, it's going to get to the last and final straw, which is like, how dare you promote violence on a family show?
Yeah.
It's like, it's wrestling. It's meant to be violent.
I do also hate the fact that she was generally receiving death threats. Like, she had to get the FBI involved. It's like, you do not, like, regardless of whether you agree with the storyline or not, and like I say, I agree with parts and there's other parts I don't, you don't send someone death threats, because it is clearly a storyline. If you don't, I know that's a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't generally faking a pregnancy. It was a storyline.
She's still with Rusev.
Exactly, they're still married. It's like people are throwing their death threats. It's like, guys, seriously, grow the fuck up. If you can't realise that's a storyline, you shouldn't be watching wrestling.
Yeah.
You need to be smarter than that. Like, death threats, really?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger won't really kill you in your sleep. Yeah, things are...
Santa's not real.
Yeah. A way to push off a childhood fan base there. But it's the whole... there have been other stories, like back in the Attitude Era, where people got death threats. And
the Attitude Era was a different
and on one side,
suppose,
it does prove you're doing your job right.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's an extreme that goes too far. Like, if you find it, if your life is that hollow that you need to find time to send death threats to
kill someone
to a scripted show
for doing their job.
Yeah. But the Lana thing that happens on Raw, it turns, use a Spinal Tap reference here, it turns the annoyance up to 11, to the point that I was just cringing watching it. But when I look back at it, despite still being annoyed, she started to remind me of Attitude Era Stephanie McMahon.
Okay.
To the point, because I remember back then, Stephanie was so annoying in the Attitude Era that back when, you could give a rock bottom to Stephanie or whatever, stunner to a woman. When they finally got their comeuppance, there was so much, thank you.
Thanks for shutting her up.
Yeah, and I think this is what it's building to. Lana's getting that annoying. Eventually she'll get hers, and it'll be, yes.
Okay.
Then it was, I think, the main event.
Yes.
The TLC match for the women's tag titles.
This is a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's a bit of a clusterfuck, isn't it?
It did have its great moments. The only problem was, there was two problems. One, again, the crowd weren't into it as much as they should have been. The only time I heard them really into it is when it looked like Becky and Charlotte were going to win and they started booing them because they didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, I noticed.
The other thing is that clearly Kairi Sane got a concussion very early on.
She had a lot of
she had a lot of problems because of that. Obviously, with her trying to get powerbombed through the table by Charlotte, she couldn't get her up because of the momentum. But Charlotte did it. She got the momentum. But obviously,
same with the spear. The spear,
the spear and everything. All this was because Kairi. So even when she did the insane elbow off the top to the two of them, Charlotte moved, but she hit Becky and the table didn't break.
Yeah,
all because she didn't put enough momentum behind it and she was concussed. It's because of that concussion that certain parts of the match fell away. Otherwise, it could have been a really, really solid match. There were good moments and good spots, but it could have been so much better, and unfortunately, it was the concussion that gave that main problem.
She's unfortunately had a history with concussions as well, back in New Japan. But allegedly, news has come out today that she's actually doing okay.
Yeah.
But even before that, some of it was very botchy from all four of them, I felt.
Yeah, it wasn't full tilt, was it?
Yeah, and on one side, it sometimes depends how you look at it. Because on one side, I was watching it like, this is a clusterfuck. They don't know what they're doing here. There's like people accidentally tripping over ladders. At one point, I think Kairi tried to throw chairs in the ring. It bounced off here with her lip. It's like, oh man.
But then she kind of doubled down on it and kept doing it like she was throwing a strop.
Yeah.
So that one thing I do like about it is like, right, I fucked up there, so let's roll with it.
But it normally Charlotte and Becky were just standing there watching it. Like, climb already! If this is... So it was a lot of like, we've got to wait here. oh, something's gone wrong there, we're going to have to either recover or try it again or whatnot.
Even when they were trying to tie Charlotte in the...
the ladder?
No, when they were trying to put Charlotte in the announcer's chair,
with the
and they couldn't get the kendo stick through the thing. It's like, how hard is it? Just put it through!
Yeah.
But they couldn't do it, so one of them had to hold it while the other one beat the shit out of her.
What annoyed me as well, when they started tying Becky to the ladder, of like, so she couldn't do anything. That was it. I was like, oh, it's just so she can't do anything. It's like, I was picturing them tying her to the ladder.
Lifting the ladder up and pushing it forward, but that just never happened.
Yeah, I was like, oh, creative. And then they didn't
do anything. And then if that was the case, why don't you just tie her to the ring post? Why do it to the ladder? You just stopped her from doing anything. You haven't done anything with her, and you've just got rid of a weapon.
Yeah. And at one point, I think they threw a ladder at them, got in the ring, threw the ladder at them to wipe them out, and it's like, right, they're wiped out. They can't do anything. It's like, yeah, but now you got to go and get the fucking ladder to get... So obviously, like, they dominated Charlotte for a little bit, then Charlotte got her offense in, and when she realised that both of them were down, she went and untied Becky. Then they attacked her again, and Becky got herself free and got herself back in the match. It got to the final point where they were both on the ladder, and then the rope was attached, wasn't it? And then we pulled Becky down.
Pulled Becky down, that was
good
it.
Spot, that's
yeah, that was fine. That uses the rope, and I'm fine with that.
I did laugh near the start of the match. I think it was before the bell rang. You see in the crowd someone carrying a security rail because of the one Rusev took. Usually you see all these people with popcorn and stuff during the night. There's just a giant railing going down the sixth row.
Spot that. Oh, I'm going to go back and find that.
It was brilliant. But the thing is, from one side it could be look as just like a mess of a match, like they didn't know what to do. There was too much crap lying about the triple threat. On the other side, some people, like, from a kayfabe point of view, for the younger viewers that still think reality is involved.
It's not.
Yeah. but for them, they might go, this is just pure chaos, which it kind of was.
Yeah.
But from a fan's perspective who knows how it goes, I can sum up the match in 2 words, which was just kind of awkward execution. They had
that's a pretty nice way to put it, really.
They had good spots, but they just weren't executed well.
Yeah. I mean, Kabuki Warriors with the win, though.
Yeah, I
genuinely thought it was going to be... Because I know the way that Vince works. Obviously, he's high on Becky. Charlotte is his fucking golden girl, because, blonde with big tits. And she's an amazing wrestler. I've said it a million times. Charlotte is one of the best wrestlers going.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel like the main reason he pushes her is for 3 reasons. She's a flare, she has blonde hair, and big tits. And that is what Vince likes.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought they're going to give it to them. They don't need it at all, but I really like the fact that they did, even though it was a clusterfuck of a match, I'm glad that they gave it to the Kabuki Warriors, because when everything's said and done, that puts them over a bit more. And it makes the titles more legitimate.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, when you said they don't need it, I was like, I agree and yet disagree at the same time. Becky and Charlotte don't need it, but the belts need them, because they're pretty much 2 of the highest women in the division at the minute. And putting the women's tag titles on them automatically makes the belts more relevant. But
I feel like we got more of a boost on these belts with this match based on the fact that they gave the Kabuki Warriors the win. It puts them over, and it means that they're willing to do anything to keep those belts.
It's also more put over to be the main event and in a TLC.
Yeah, it was main event.
Yeah, and I was fine with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially...
It did put the Kabuki Warriors over.
Yeah. Another thing that pissed me off, and it was nothing to do with the girls, actually.
The brawl.
The brawl at the end. Why go off the air on that? They literally, as soon as Asuka had that unhooked, I think he literally just managed to get it out.
And down the men.
And then the men.
Yeah.
I was like, let's finish over here with a massive brawl with the men, and Reigns doing Superman flying shit. I was like, why? You've literally just goes, don't worry about the women, let's finish over here with the blokes. That is really stupid.
To me,
I don't get why you did that. It made no sense.
If it was already planned from the get-go, then it's stupid. The only thing I can think of is something in the TLC match Vince saw, or a couple of things he saw that he didn't like, so he's like, as soon as the match ends, just go over to the brawl, whatever. But they started that before the match, because they showed that Street Profits thing.
Yeah,
There was a fight,
and everyone was getting involved.
But Zach made the good point of like, okay, you got obviously Roman and Baron. They're continuing their fight.
Ziggler Revival fight.
And you got Ziggler and Revival still there. And now the New Day involved. And the Street Profits.
And then Buddy Murphy was there. And then Chad Gable was like, "Why are you involving all these people?"
But not only that,
they weren't there to help fucking Reigns earlier. Why are they there now?
That's it. Why they couldn't go out during the match? Why are they there now? But also, the Street Profits had nothing to do with it. They could have just watched it. And they're like, let's get involved. But what was confusing. I did like the spot where he speared Corbin out of the crowd and onto the private people, but it wasn't needed.
No, just do it after their match, not after the girls' match.
At first, I thought this is obviously a build up to the Royal Rumble because obviously Royal Rumble is every man for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Until I realised, like, every single person involved there is a SmackDown star. If it's going to be a Royal Rumble, you want brand warfare again.
Yeah.
So why was it just this SmackDown dissension? So, I don't get. Maybe we'll get explanation, but the explanation will probably just be a 10-man tag next week.
It was a stupid way to end it.
Yeah, it
really
just
was.
seemed. It just didn't make any sense.
No.
If there was more sense to it, to be honest, if it. I don't know if I would have been annoyed or not, but if they'd kept Corbin Roman till the main event, if the match went exactly the same way, but then people came out and it continued as a brawl, and then you ended the show with that spot in the crowd, it probably would have made more sense because again, it's like the match is over, but this is so personal that it's continuing and more people are getting involved.
It just seemed like they were taking the shine off the girls, and I know that the match wasn't going as well as they wanted it to, and like I say, it was a clusterfuck. But you still don't deter away from that.
No, you don't.
You would never do that with the blokes. If they had a main event and it went shit and it didn't go the way you wanted to, you would never suddenly pan away to a load of girls going absolutely nuts at each other.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that. So why do it now? It makes no sense.
It reminded me of after WrestleMania, after Charlotte beat Asuka, so beat a streak, and then instead of like letting Charlotte revel in that glory, they do the bit where the ref appears out of nowhere, tells Cena something, and Cena jumps over the railing and jumps to the ramp. So I think, don't even give
it that chance.
I was hyped up. We wanted what it meant, but it took the spotlight of Charlotte.
Exactly, like it never happened.
Yeah, it's like, why couldn't you have done it during, like, I don't know, maybe not the Hall of Fame, because that would be more
someone's next entrance.
But yeah, like
something like that.
If there was like the Battle Royal, I don't know if the Battle Royal, no, Battle Royal's on the pre-show, but if, a match like that where there's a load of people coming up
doesn't
to
really
once,
matter.
So it's like, all right, we know what's next, but we'll just wait patiently. If during that bit you had the ref go out, not only does it give you the pop you got that night, but
it take away from anything.
But it adds more energy. You've already got that adrenaline rush, and now you've got more adrenaline for the matches about to happen in front of you.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to rank this.
It's really difficult because it's a proper mixed bag of a show, isn't it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the I'm not going to call it action. The violence of it, because that's what TLC should be. This whole Demolition Derby
thing. There were some great moments, but there were also some real shit ones.
There were some really bad calls, really weird moments.
Plenty of botches.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a field day for Botchamania. So
I think under that, I'm going to have to go for 5. I'm going to have to go right smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, I was going to go. I thought 5. Contemplated 6 because I actually enjoyed the show, but I think 5 bang in the middle is a fair.
Because like I say, we have plenty to like, but we also have plenty to hate.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I enjoyed it on one side, but on the other side, it was not that great.
Yeah.
So
5 out of 10 then.
Yeah. Just
for the last pay-per-view of the year / decade.
Bang in the middle.
Shame really. So, should go out proper, but never mind.
Yeah.
WWE's MO, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a long 6
Rumble.
weeks. Yeah.
It's about 6 weeks. It's going to be a while. However, we did mention about doing a big review for Rise of Skywalker. Now, I don't know whether to think about putting it on our SoundCloud and everything for this, because it's going to be podcast related, so maybe?
Yeah, we'll wing it.
We'll wing it. So we're seeing it later on this week. We'll actually see it tomorrow night, aren't we?
Yeah, I was about to talk about that, but that's not for your
midnight showing. So yeah, we may put that up on our SoundCloud. It'll be us and a friend of ours called Alice. She wants to do it with us. So yeah, you may have that. You may not. If you don't, it'll be 6 weeks and we'll be back for the Rumble.
Yes.
Yeah. So have a good Christmas and see you soon.
Have a Christmas.